Finally, let's go over this 10-book CGC submission that I sent in August and CGC received it in September. And please leave a like while the intro plays. For the 1500 subscriber giveaway contest, I'll be giving away this, The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 1, CGC in a 9.8, another great series from JT4. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel, like and comment in any of my videos for a chance to win. Good luck, everyone. Welcome back to Basement Collectibles, and if you're new to the channel, my name is Jordan, and if you like CGC unboxing, comics, toys, movies, and arcades, please consider subscribing for more great content. So I sent these books last August, and I actually had to refer to one of my videos of the 10-book CG submission just to go over what I actually had sent, because I ended up sending about 2 rounds of books almost back to back. So I had to go through what I had, and I remember this submission, and unfortunately I didn't get these pressed. I'm sure they could have used a quick press, but most of the books, again, I'm aiming for a 9.8, except for one of the books, which I'll let you know. And also please stay tuned. After I go through all the books and what I paid for them, I'll now check to see what they obviously were worth in September when I submitted these books, or sorry, August, and then I'll check, of course, what they're worth now in their grade. So on that note, let's get to unboxing. Okay, now I'm back. So to start off with, Paper Girls issue number 1. I purchased this book for $30, and at the time I submitted this book was worth $200 in a 9.8, or at least that's what it was selling for. And what did I receive? 9.8. Great start. The case is in great shape. The last unboxing I had, unfortunately there was a crack on the seam, so there was nothing wrong with the cover or the back, but when I was making the video I didn't notice it, and then all of a sudden I was checking the box out, everything was fine. I was looking at the books again to sell a few, and then I had to write to a couple of the buyers saying I just realized there was a small crack, but luckily so far so good. Just unfortunately the Newton rings are back. I haven't really had a new book come in with these Newton rings on it, but please let me know in the comment section if you're still getting the Newton rings. And book number 2, Firepower issue number 1. This is the gold label, and I purchased Firepower. One of the, I actually have 2 books in the submission. So the first one I purchased for $18. Everything looked great on it. Yeah, no marks on it again. That's why I didn't put a press on for this submission. But again, I paid $18 for this book, and when I submitted it, it was selling for a 9.8 for around $120. So let's see what I got. 9.6. Yeah, no, I don't see anything on there. But again, is there going to be notes on it? Probably not, but I'll definitely check. And again, the case is 100% at least. And on book number 3, Shadecraft issue number 1 from Image, and I purchased this book. I've been still reading it, but I purchased this book again. It was supposedly optioned for Netflix before the book even came out, so there hasn't been any news on that since. But I purchased this book for under $10. I ended up grabbing 2 or 3 books. It seemed like the other 2 books had some black color rub on it. So I finally found a book that didn't have any color rub on it, but I had to pay a couple dollars more. And at the time I submitted this, Shadecraft was going for around $95 in a 9.8, and I received 9.8. Great. Again, case is a lot better than the Paper Girls case, but can't complain. And we'll check after again what these books are going for in a 9.8. On to book number 4. JT4's The Department of Truth, issue number 1. I've had a couple of these already come back in a 9.8. Really looking forward to a potential TV show one day. And I purchased this book, for about just under $30. And at the time of submission, a 9.8 was going for over $140. So let's see what I got on this one. 9.6. Again, I don't see anything on here that would bring it down to a 9.6, but I'll check a little closer and also get some more pricing on it. And on to book number 5, and hopefully some better news. Another Firepower, issue number 1 from Image and Robert Kirkman. I started speccing on this book, again, just with Robert Kirkman's Invincible. I thought this would be another great cartoon series, and hopefully maybe Amazon Prime would pick it up. So the other one I mentioned, about $18, I paid $25 for this book. So between one of the two, hopefully I get a 9.8. And it's showing here again, 9.8 was going for around $120 at the time I submitted these books. So let's see what I got. 9.8. Okay, so at least I got one in a 9.8, and I'll sacrifice the other one in 9.6 and just at least to pay the cost for these books, hopefully. And on to book number 6. Wind from JT4, another great series, another series that was hinted by JT4 on, I believe, a Twitter feed mentioning about another potential series that could be hitting a TV show one day. I bought this for just under $25, and in September, this was going for about $150 in a 9.8. And again, I don't see anything that would have required a press, but let's see what I got. 9.6. Huh. All I see is almost looks like water from the rings on the plastic, but other than that, I don't see anything. You know what? There's a small scuff that I never even noticed right here, but again, I'll have to go back on the pictures that I took before I sent this in. And on to book number 7. We Live, issue number 1 by Aftershock Comics. This is one of my favorite series in the last couple years. If you haven't had a chance to read this, I've been promoting this on my channel every time I buy one of these books. I already have one in a 9.8, really hoping for another one, and I hope there's news on it one day. And We Live, I bought for about $40, and in a 9.8 in September was going for over $225. So I'm really hoping for another 9.8. 9.6. I was really hoping to get this in a 9.8. Again, I don't see anything, but I really should have been, I should have made sure that I at least got a quick press with this just for peace of mind. But again, nothing wrong with this book. And we'll go over the pricing again, what 9.6 is worth. And on to book number 8. Another Department of Truth, issue number 1. And I didn't even note this, but I'm sure I got this for under $30. And again, a 9.8 was going for over $140. So I'm really hoping I can at least get a 9.8 between the two. And let's see what I got. 9.8. Okay. So again, I'll sell the 9.6 off if I can, or maybe at least wait the 9.6 out a little bit if there's more news breaking to hopefully bump up that book a couple dollars. But really happy at least I got one of the two in a 9.8. And on to book number 9, and I'm sure you've guessed it already, it's a 9.6, but let's just wait and see. Okay, so Predator issue number 1. This is definitely not a 9.8. This has some few marks in that where I wouldn't have been able to press out, lots, a bit of color rub. At the time when I bought Predator, I bought this for around $65. And, looking at maybe a 9.4 was about $150. When I submitted this book, this was gaining a lot of traction in the summer. People anticipating Predator because obviously now Fox is owned by Disney and Marvel. So really hoping I can at least stay in the 9s in this book, but let's check it out. But with the grading so far, I wouldn't be shocked if it's going to be under 9. 9.4. Okay, you know what? I'll take this. This is a book that I made a video about. I was trying to sell this book on eBay raw for another $70 or so. And I had a lady that actually purchased it and just never would pay me. Kept on saying she's going to pay me on Friday, pay me a couple days later. So I finally had to give up on it and just cancel it. But I really wish, well, let's see what happens with this book. But I just couldn't believe that this lady just wouldn't pay for her book. That's the first time on eBay that I had someone actually renege on buying something. But anyways, if you want to check that video out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But I'm actually pretty happy with the 9.4 for all the color rub and all that's on this book. And the last book of the submission, book number 10. And let's hopefully we end on a good note. Okay, So from Mad Cave Nottingham, issue number 1, another great series, another 5-part series. I highly recommend if you hadn't had a chance to read this. I'm really hoping for good things with this book, with the black cover. I took a risk on this book. I paid about $50 for it without really seeing too much about this book, but the seller that I bought it from, I've had some good luck on in the past. So again, I paid $50 for this book, and in a 9.8, when I sent this in, was around $340. So again, let's end on a good note here. 9.8, perfect. Okay, I'll take it. I've noticed though, on every case, there's either like a smudge mark or a scratch on each case, and it's really not affecting the cover. So obviously I'm not going to push it, but I don't know. I've had, a lot of submissions now, and I've never really had that bad of rubbing on the case. But again, let me know in your recent submissions, are you guys getting a lot of marks just from just the handling part of it at CGC? So now that you've seen all the grades, I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to go calculate everything and see what a 9.6 is worth and a 9.8 is worth in mid-February 2022. But if you're going to leave the video now, really appreciate you watching this far. Please like, comment, and subscribe on your way out if you're new to the channel, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Thanks for waiting. So starting off with the 9.6 is Firepower issue number 1, the embossed gold foil label. And again, I purchased this book for $18, and currently 9.6s are selling for just over $100. So I have to decide, do I just hold on to this book? Hopefully there's some news, or again, I can put it in an auction or maybe leave it on eBay for maybe $120 and see if anyone bites. If I do make if I do sell it for $100 with the eBay fees and that, I could be pocketing about $20 after paying off the CGC fees and for this book. Next is the 9.6, the Department of Truth issue number 1. I purchased this book for under $30, and currently a 9.6 just sold for about $75. So with it being under $30 plus my fees, depending where I sell this book, if I do decide this book now, I could be maybe making my money back or maybe $10 profit. So really, it's too bad this didn't hit the 9.8, because again, I can't see anything wrong with this book. Next up, Wind issue number 1 in a 9.6, and again, I paid just about $25 for this book, and Wind 9.6 just currently sold for about $50. So with me investing in $25 with this book plus my CGC fees, I'm gonna have to take a loss on this book, or again, just enjoy it, keep it in my personal collection. But let me know in the comments section below, would you hold on to this book, or would you just be happy to just sell it off, or at least to get your money back? And one of the 2 books I was really hoping for the most to get a 9.8 in, because it's such a great story, and I think this book is going to do really well one day, hopefully either for a TV show or maybe a movie, but who knows, that's why we spec on these things. But We Live issue number 1 in a 9.6, and again, I paid about just under $40 for this book, and a recent 9.6 sell for We Live was just around $90. So again, I'm probably just breaking even or just making a little bit of money depending where I sell this. So I might just hang on to this 9.6. And again, such a great cover. Love the wraparound cover. But I think I'll just hold on to this book and hope for great things to come. So with all the 9.6s out of the way, let's get to some good news. And that is starting off with Paper Girls issue number 1 in a 9.8. And I purchased this book for $30, and it's currently selling in a 9.8 right now for just over $150. Again, September was around $200. So hopefully with some more news about the Amazon Prime show, it will bounce back up to the $200 mark. As much as I enjoy this series, most of these books I was going to try to sell off again to put back the money back into the hobby. So pay off again the CGC fees, maybe keep 1 or 2 of these books. So with that in mind, currently it's selling for $150, but of course I'm going to hang on to this book, hopefully, and wait until a trailer comes out for this series. Next up, Shadecraft issue number 1 in a 9.8, and again, I paid about just under $10 for this book, and it's currently selling for about $95 for a 9.8, and in September it was selling for around $95 in a 9.8. So it's keeping steady, and hopefully there's more news about the Netflix show, and that will be the time. Again, I'll wait for a trailer and release this book. Next up, Firepower issue number 1 in 9.8. Again, the embossed gold foil logo, and I purchased this book for $25, and I saw only one on eBay just selling for over $300. So again, let's call it, or maybe around $250 for this book. Again, depending who's willing to spend that type of money. But I'm definitely going to be holding on to this book. I'm really hoping one day Robert Kirkman or somebody else announces another great cartoon series for this great book. Next up is Department of Truth, issue number 1 in a 9.8, and I bought this book for under $30, and currently selling in a 9.8 for about $125. In September, it was selling for about $140. So again, hopefully with more news about a potential TV show that was rumored a few months ago, or at least 6 months ago for that matter now. So I'm definitely going to be holding on to this book, and I'm really looking forward to a possible show in the near future. And one of the books I was most excited for getting back was Nottingham, issue number 1 in a 9.8, and I paid just under $50 for this book. And in a 9.8, it's selling for around $250, and in September it was selling for about $340. So again, I'm looking to keep this book. This is one of the maybe 2 or 3 books I was going to keep in this collection. Really enjoy this cover. Great series. Again, if you haven't had a chance to read this, definitely give it a shot, and I'm really hoping for some new issues coming out sooner or later from Nottingham. So a surprise to me on the grade, at least, a 9.4 Predator issue number 1, and this of course is the first appearance of Predator in comics, and I bought this book again for $75. A 9.4 in September was going for around $150, and right now I can't find any current prices in a 9.4, so let's say even if it dropped a little bit, I'm probably just maybe making my money back if I was to sell it today, but I'm definitely going to hold on to it, and I really hope to see another Predator movie, and I'm excited to see what Disney/Marvel does with Predator. But all in all, I'm really happy with this grade because I thought it was going to be under a 9.0, to be honest. So what did you guys think of my 10 books that I just got back from CGC? Are any of you speccing on any of these books currently? Do you have any of these books in your collection? I think this is probably one of my worst return on investments out of a 10 book submission. I guess I got pretty lucky in the last 3 or 4 submissions coming back. I normally at least get maybe 80% of the books back in a 9.8. But again, live and learn. I should have had these at least maybe a quick press on them, and maybe that would have bumped up the grade, but unfortunately I had no patience and I sent them out. So the next submission, I definitely had them pressed, so I'm hoping for better results. So stay tuned for that CGC unboxing video. So that's it for this video, and I really appreciate you watching till the end. And if you found this video maybe informative or at least entertaining, or you really like 9.6, please leave a like on your way out. And if you are new to the channel, if you can possibly like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everybody on the next video. Take care.